where we learn together from each other. So today we will discuss a little more advanced concepts of graphs. So that's why I've named the lecture Graph Basics 2. If you haven't, I would highly recommend you to look at the previous another video that I have, Graph Basics 1, that discusses some of the very basic concepts of graph. So friends, let's get started. First of all, thank you for selecting the video, and I hope the graph videos are pretty useful. If you have any suggestions, definitely I would suggest you to comment on this video, or even you can email me if needed. So let's see what this video tries to cover. So this video will try to cover the concept of degree of a vertex in a graph, or in a directed graph it becomes an in degree and out degree of a vertex. Then we will move into the next stuff, which is defining what a walk is, what is a path, and what a circuit is. We'll then move on to discussing trees and forests. Then we will see what are loops and multi-edges in a graph. Then we will see 3 new types of graphs which are pretty important and interesting as well: a complete graph, bipartite graph, and a cycle graph. We'll also see what regularity means in a graph, or a regular graph means. Then we will see what is meant by a clique, or a clique and an independent set in a graph. So let's get started. So the first concept is degree of a vertex. So we already know that a graph consists of vertices and edges connected to each other. So degree is nothing but the sum of, or the total number of edges that are connected to the vertex. So this concept makes more sense for undirected graphs, because in case of directed graphs the concept kind of varies a little bit to in degree and out degree. So here is a graph on the right side, and here is an example. Let's say we take vertex B. What is the degree of vertex B? So we see what edges are connected to B. We have BA as one edge, we have BC as one edge. So the number of edges connected is 2. So that's why the degree of vertex B is 2. Similarly, let's calculate the degree of vertex C. Vertex C has so many edges. It has CA, it has CD, it has CE, CF, as well as CB. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. In fact, I think there is a mistake here. So if we see AC is an edge, BC is an edge, CD is an edge, CF is an edge, we have missed CE. So CE is another edge. So in fact the degree of vertex C is 5, because there are 5 edges. Alright, so we are done with degree. We'll see now what an in degree and out degree is. So in degree and out degree are concepts for directed graphs, because in directed graphs we can have edges that are coming into the vertex and some edges that are going out of the vertex. So number of edges that are coming into the vertex is in degree, and number of edges that are going out is out degree. Now let's go to an example. Let's see what is an in degree of vertex B. So vertex B is here. So we see there is one edge coming into B. There are no more edges. This is the edge. So in degree of vertex B is 1. Similarly, the number of edges that are going from B, one is BC and the other is BD. So the out degree is actually 2. So out degree is 2 and in degree is 1. Similarly, let's see what is in degree of vertex A. Vertex A doesn't have any edges that are going into A, hence in degree is 0. Out degree of vertex, there is one edge going from A. That's why vertex A's out degree is 0. Alright, I hope this made the concept pretty clear. I would suggest you to take it as an exercise to find in degree and out degree of vertex C. Cool. Moving on. Walk. So what is a walk? As the name suggests, since we have vertices and we have edges connected to the vertices, we can start from a vertex, we can go through the edge and then reach another vertex. We can even come back to the same vertex by following the same edge. So a walk is nothing but a sequence of vertices and edges in a graph, and there is no restrictions on the vertices and edges. We may repeat edges, we may repeat vertices. So here is an example of a walk. So if you see, if I go from, I can start from vertex A, I'll go from A to B, then I'll go from B to C, I'll again come back to B, just because I feel like repeating the edge BC. Then I may again go on the edge BC and reach C, and then I will reach CD. So in a way, I started from edge A, started from vertex A to vertex D, and I followed a path, and I followed a set of edges. And remember, we are allowed to repeat edges, so I repeated edge BC a few number of times. So that's why it's a walk. A walk can also be a single vertex. Let's say I'm just starting at C and I just end at C. So this is also a walk. Now there is another example of a walk which repeats vertices as well as edges. Let's say I start from BC, I go from B to C, then I go from C to D, then I go from D to E, E to C, and C to B. So I have actually covered edge BC twice, and I have repeated vertex C a few number of times. So even this is allowed as a wedge, as a walk. So basically there are no restrictions on which edge we take and which vertex we choose. So that's a walk. Now let's see what a path is. Now path is a walk, of course, but remember, a path is a walk where we are not allowed to repeat vertices or edges. So a sequence of vertices and edges which does not repeat vertices or edges. So an example of path is AB, BC and CE. This is a path. See, we have only covered every vertex once and we haven't repeated any edges as well. Now remember, we are also allowed to repeat one vertex, which is the originating vertex. Now the next example does that. AB, BC, CA. So AB, BC, CA. I haven't repeated edges, but I have repeated the first vertex, which I am allowed to repeat. And this is where the concept of circuit comes in. So a path that starts and ends at the same vertex is called as a circuit. We also call it as a cycle. Sometimes it's also called as a closed path. Now there is another example. Let's take another example of a cycle. CF, FE, EC. This is also a circuit or a cycle. Cool. Now let's see if the example mentioned here is a path or not. BC, CD, DE, EC and CB. So this is not a path because we are repeating the edge BC twice and we have covered the vertex C probably 3 or 4 number of times. So hence it's not a path, neither it's a circuit. As an example, I would leave it to you to identify any more circuits that are present in this graph. Meanwhile, let's move on to the next concept, which is forest and a tree. So if you have seen my previous video, we have defined tree there as well. So a tree is a graph where everywhere we pick any two vertices, they are connected only through exactly one path. In other words, a graph where there are no cycles. If I pick this vertex and this vertex, there is only a single path that is possible. So which means I have to go this way, this, turn right, then turn right, go up, go down, and then here. This is the only path present. There is no other path, because if there was another path, then we can just join these two paths and form a cycle, and hence the graph would be a cyclic graph. So a tree is an acyclic graph. Now what is a forest? So forest is nothing but a set of disconnected trees. So if you notice, we have, it's a disconnected graph where each of the connected components is a tree. So there are no cycles in individual trees or individual connected individual subcomponents. So the definition says a graph with no cycles, but it may be disconnected. So if you pick any two vertices, there is possible that there is no path, but at most they are connected by one path. Okay, cool. I hope this made the concept of forest and tree more clear. We'll move on. Little more advanced concepts, loops and multi-edges. So what is a loop? So loop or a self loop is basically an edge that starts and ends at the same vertex. So in this case we have a loop here, we also have a loop here. So in normal sense, when we say a graph, we say the graph doesn't have a loop or it doesn't have a multi-edge. What is a multi-edge? So a multi-edge is basically multi-edge or multi-edges are a set of edges that start and end at the same vertex. So if we take this vertex and this vertex, you can see there is an edge going here, there is also an edge going here. So basically there are multiple edges connecting to the same two pair of vertices. They all start at a vertex and end at the same vertex. So in normal sense, when we say graph, we say the graph doesn't have loops or multiple edges. In fact, a graph that has multiple edges is sometimes also called as a multi-graph. Alright, now we'll move on to see certain important types of graphs which are interesting. So the first one is the complete graph. So a complete graph is a graph where there is an edge between any two pair of vertices. So if the number of vertices are 2, that is, in the first case we have one edge. If the number of vertices are 3, then we have 3 edges, one connecting to each other, and so on. So you may have guessed, for a graph of n vertices, the number of edges will be n choose 2 or n into n minus 1 by 2. So this is a special graph, and it has very important properties. So a complete graph is a very interesting graph. We also have a concept of directed complete graph, in which there is a directed edge from each vertex to each vertex, which means one in each direction. We also sometimes label them by K, which means K2 is a complete graph on 2 vertices, K6 is a complete graph on 6 vertices, and so on. Next, bipartite graph. Now bipartite graph is also a special graph where the number of vertices, or the vertices, can be divided into two sets which have a special property, that these sets are these sets are independent, which means, and if we take any two vertices, there will not be any edges between them. There are no edges between them. So a bipartite graph is a graph where the vertex set can be divided into two sets which are independent, which means there are no edges between themselves, but there are edges to the outside or to the other set of vertices. So notice there are no edges between vertices in U or in V, and all edges that are present are from U to V. In fact, we can also have a concept of complete bipartite graph where there is an edge between every vertex in U to every vertex in V. So there is a important property of a bipartite graph, which is it doesn't contain an odd cycle. I will leave it to you guys to think and decipher this. In fact, this is a theorem which you can prove. I'll leave it as an exercise. Cool. So let's move ahead. Comes the concept of cycle graph. Now remember, this is different from cyclic graph. Cyclic graph was a graph where the graph consisted of at least one cycle, but cycle graph is a graph where the graph itself is a cycle. In fact, there is only a single cycle that exists, and all vertices form, or all vertices are part of that cycle. And cycle graphs are also represented by C, similar to K. Let's say C3, which means a cycle graph on 3 vertices. We have one here, A, B, C, A to B, B to C, and C to A. Similarly, we have this one as C5, which is a cycle graph on 5 vertices. So there is a single path, and the single path itself is a circuit. A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and back to E. Alright, next a little complex property, which is regularity of a graph. So a regular graph is a graph where every vertex, remember every vertex has the same number of neighbors, which means every vertex has the same degree. If the degree is k, then we also call it as a k regular graph, or regular graph of degree k. So here we can see an example of a 0 regular graph where each vertex has degree 0. All the vertex have degree 0. In the next graph, all the vertex have degree 1. It may be, the graph may be connected or disconnected. The next one has, every vertex has a degree 2, so we can say it as a 2 regular graph. The last one is a 3 regular graph where each vertex has a degree 3. Now for a given degree, there could be many different ways the graph can be defined. So the graph is not unique. So a k regular graph may not be unique, like in case of a complete graph or in case of a cycle graph. Okay, moving ahead comes the concept of clique. So what is a clique? So clique is a subset of vertices, or a set of vertices, normally in an undirected graph, that form a complete graph by themselves. So we pick a set of vertices and we see if all those vertices are connected to each other. So that is a clique. So in a graph we can have cliques of different sizes. We may have clique of size 1, which is a vertex by itself. We may have clique of size 2, which is an edge. We may have cliques of higher sizes as well. So in the given graph here, we can see we have highlighted cliques of size 2 and 3. Usually clique of size 1 is trivial, which means let's say we take any vertex that's a clique of size 1, and clique of size 2 means every edge we take is a clique of size 2. So 3 and 4 is a clique, 0, 3 would be another clique, 0, 2 would be another clique of size 2, 1, 2 would be clique of another size, of size 2, 1, 0 will be a clique of another size. But let's see what a clique of size 3 is. We have highlighted here 0, 1, 2. We can also take 0, 1, 2 as another clique where each vertex is connected to every other vertex and the subgraph is a complete graph. So 0, 1, 2 is a complete graph and a clique of size 3. So on the right side we can see we are given a graph and there could be more than one cliques in the graph of the same size. So in a given graph it shows that there are 4 cliques in the graph, all of size 3. And all are complete subgraphs. Okay, similar to the concept of clique or the anti-pattern of clique, we have independent set. So independent set is a set of vertices. It's also called as a stable set, where none of the vertices are connected. So there are no edges between themselves. In fact, if you remember the bipartite graph we saw, or the sets in which the bipartite graph is divided, each of them is a independent set or a stable set. Now here even stable sets can be of different sizes. Now here we have an example of an independent set of size 3, which is highlighted in blue here. This is of size 3. If you notice, there are no edges between themselves. The next one is not an independent set, because the set highlighted, there is an edge, there is a edge between those, so between these two, so hence this is not an independent set. Whereas the next one is an independent set of size 2, where 2 vertices are highlighted. Okay, cool. So looks like we are almost at the end of this session. So before we end this session, here is a question for you. In fact, we have given a graph and there are a few questions that you need to answer based on the concepts that we learned in this video. So does the graph have loops? Does it have loops or self loops? Is the graph a multi-graph? Does it have any multiple edges or multi-edges? Then find the vertices which have the lowest degree and highest degree. It's possible that there are multiple vertices with the lowest and highest degree, so please list them. Then find the largest clique in the graph. So largest clique means clique which can be of maximum size. Find the largest independent set in the graph. Then is the graph cyclic? Is the graph a cycle graph? Is it a tree? Please explain why or why not. Is the given graph complete? Is it bipartite? Explain why or why not. So I leave these questions to you guys as an exercise, and make sure you can always comment on the video if you have any questions or if you need answers to any of those. So I'll end it here. Thanks again for watching this videos. I hope it made the concepts of graph theory a little more clear. Alright, bye bye.